Morning, everybody. My name's Corey Muller. Thanks, everybody, for attending today and welcoming me. It's my honor to present the 2015 TaylorMade Assistant of the Year Award. I want to welcome Dan Rokitka from TaylorMade Golf. And just a moment on TaylorMade, we're really appreciative of everything that the company does to not only continue to support our association, but all golf professionals across the country. And TaylorMade continues to outdo themselves in that department. So a round of applause for TaylorMade. We really appreciate it. A little history of this award. It's been given out for over the last 10 years, I believe. It is an all-around assistant golf professional recognition award. It's not just specific to playing accomplishments. We partner with the Squire Cup each year. That was a little dig, come on. We partner with the Squire Cup each year to get recipients and applications to show all involvement and participation in our section and in golf and in growing the game. And this year's recipient has a history of service, not only to our association, but displays continual passion in the growth of the game. He has been a representative of the Assistants Board since 2013 and has been actively involved in the PGA Junior Golf League, raising money for junior golf in our association, as well as contributing to PGA Hope programs, Patriot Golf Day, Arnie's Army, and Play for Pink. He's a two-time recipient of this award, and we're honored to have him lead our association. So please, let's welcome, from the Mount Kisco Club, Dennis Dungee.
Obviously humbled and honored to win again for the second time. I wasn't expecting it the first time. And certainly wasn't expecting it again this year. So with last year's speech, I kind of left a lot out there. But obviously, I want to thank the selection committee for the award. TaylorMade Golf, as Corey said, RJ and Dan, two great guys. It's been fantastic being a part of their staff, and their support is second to none. Not only for me, but at a section level as well. So thank you to you guys. After winning the award in 2014, kind of pushed me a little bit to do even more this past year. Certainly my story hasn't changed. I came from the Carolinas section here to the Mets section because it is the best section. There's great people here, and it's been an honor to be a part of it. We've heard it all day. If you're not getting involved here in this section, it's a disservice to yourself. All of us are busy, and I kind of stole this from Jeff's executive director report notes from the main meeting, but all of us are busy, and his report challenged us to get involved. And as he said earlier, involved doesn't necessarily mean sitting up here at one of these spots or hosting an event. It could be a simple phone call to share a successful program that others may benefit from, an idea or a concept. Plenty of guys have reached out to me over the last 2 years as I've served as the president of the association and have come forward with great ideas, and that's involvement also. Getting the ball rolling on a program that could help all of us in the future. So certainly encourage you to get involved, build your brand, and be a part of this great section and what we stand for. Just a couple thank yous. Obviously, my boss, Chris Case, or as I like to call him, my teammate and my leader, and the Mount Kisco staff. We're a team over there, so they help me be able to do what I'm able to do as well. And my wife, she's still at Round Hill, as most of you know, and she's holding down the fort at home too, which also allows me to continue to spend some extra hours serving on the board, playing in tournaments, and hopefully growing every day to be a better golf professional. So, and last but not least, thank you to all of you guys and girls that are sitting here in this room. You're all great people. It's been great to sit up here and serve you guys and gain knowledge from all of you as well. So thank you very much. Now I get to present awards. 2015 Women's Player of the Year. I think 2 words describe this person: hard work and dedication. In 2014, she had knee surgery, spent the winter rehabbing and slowly getting the strength back and the golf game back. So in 2015, her stats are as follows. She finished 6th in the Women's Met Open, 2nd in the Women's Stroke Play. She finished 18th at the LPGA Teaching and Club Professional National Championship. She won last year's Women's Match Play and astoundingly won the Player of the Year race by 930 points. Also selected to last year's Squire Cup team. 2015 Women Player of the Year, Sara Dickson.
So, thank you. I'd like to tell a short story, if I may, because it shines light on the Met PGA Tournament office and the strength of our section. So when people look at me, or I meet a new member, I hear things a lot that they say, "You look like you're such a good golfer," or "You look like you can hit the ball so far." Well, I can't tell you how far those things are or have been from the truth. The other day, I looked up my 4-year college scoring average, and I thought it was a typo because it said 85.1. So you can do the math. Anytime I shot 78, it was likely that I also probably shot a 92. So it was a surprise to me when Dave Young took a chance and hired me to work at Sleepy Hollow 5 years ago. The places and sections I had worked at prior didn't value playing nearly as much. I actually hadn't played in a tournament since graduating from college 2 years before that. So people started sending me messages, and they said, "You're a good fit. Dave likes good players." Or, "You'll love the Met section as a good player." And I'm sitting there thinking, 85.1, like, this doesn't add up. So the first year in the section, I mustered up the courage to play in 2 of the main women's tournaments. I remember getting in the car after each round and thinking, okay, broke 90, all good, and I went back to work. So I had gotten really into teaching, or I should say, needless to say, that year I'm quite certain I finished very bottom of the women's players list. So that would have been 2012. And I'd gotten really into teaching. I was reading all different teaching books. I remember like being on the treadmill, like trying to read the golfing machine. You've got all these page references, I'm running along, and for those of you who know, it's like a near impossible task. So up until my first year in the section, I was fine with putting my main effort into teaching. I thought to myself, I like to teach, and playing is for all those other people who are good. So it's funny how things work. About 4 winters ago, I was teaching on my Casio camera, and it got windy in Florida. It fell over, it just completely broke. So I put up a message on Facebook, and I was like, does anyone have a camera? I've got these lessons. And a teacher responded from Sarasota, and she said, well, I've got 2 of those Casios that you want, but you have to buy both of them. So I was like, okay. I talked to my friend Amber into buying the other one, and I drove up to Sarasota at 6 in the morning to buy these 2 cameras. And I was starting to get back into my car, and the teacher goes, well, aren't you going to hit some balls? And I was surprised, but I said, sure. So there it started. This teacher named Kathy Schmidt, she started helping me with my swing. As Dennis said earlier, I had a bum knee that needed surgery. I hadn't had the surgery yet. And I have a really funny lead arm that can almost hyperextend when I swing, which isn't great for the golf swing. But Kathy patiently worked around those things, and she got me to a point where I could get the ball around the course much better. So I was a bit more inspired. The next season I started to sign up for every tournament that I could. And while my scoring average certainly wasn't going down, I started to feel more comfortable as I met fellow assistants and as I continued to meet wonderful people that we have in our section office. And every pro that I've worked for in the Met section has always echoed the same statement. They always said, go play, go play, go play. So fast forward to last year. My scoring average in the women's tournaments was 75.1. So that's exactly 10 strokes lower than it had been in college 10 years prior. But me standing here is really an example of the beauty of our section. The culture of teaching and playing excellence just happened to wear off on me due to the people that I was surrounded by and continued to be surrounded by. If there are 3 things that I've learned throughout the process, they would be 1, don't settle for what's comfortable, as I know it's very easy to do. 2, write down your goals, and then 3, ask for help so you can try to achieve them. Looking around the room today, I actually see people right here that I've reached out to help me with my game. We have a wonderful section with some of the best and most experienced teachers and players. So instead of my name on here, there should really be a Rolodex of contacts, because there have been many patient people who have really done most of the work behind this. Thank you.
All right, we're getting there. 2015 Assistant Player of the Year was determined this year at our the National Assistant Championship, where Ben finished 12th to seal the deal. His list of accomplishments this past year: he had a T7 at Hampshire, a win at Colonial Spring on the Assistants Tour. He finished no higher than 12th in all of our assistant events that he competed in. He had a win at PGA Tournament Series #1. He was 2nd on the Tournament Series money list. As I said, 12th place finish at the National Assistants Championship. He finished 2nd at the PGA, the National PGA Professional Championship. Had a solo 3rd finish at the New York State Open, and he also won the Met Open in a thrilling fashion. And as we heard earlier, qualified for conditional status on the Mackenzie Tour. Our 2015 Assistant Player of the Year, Ben Polland.
This it here? That's fine. We can get it later. I won't take too long because I know everybody's getting kind of hungry. But there's, I mean, a lot of what I was planning to say is exactly what Sara said, and it's that you can't really achieve your goals without the help of other people. And that's, winning this award is actually something that I wrote down a long time ago. I mean, I'm not sure how many of these I've been to, but I remember watching Greg Visconti win it, Grant Sturgeon last year, Tim Pitts, I think, won it as well. But it's always been something I've been working towards, and writing down your goals is really important, I think, because it gives you a deadline of something that you're trying to do, and you need to have the discipline to work towards it. But I'd like to thank, the Met PGA, the section itself. You wouldn't be able to accumulate these points without them, because they're the ones that put the tournaments on. All these guys right here do a really good job of putting that list of tournaments together, and then the great courses that we have the opportunity to play. I mean, the PGA Tour comes out here for majors, and we're playing our assistants, match play at Shinnecock that's holding the U.S. Open, and the State Open's at Bethpage, where the Barclays is this year. And this place even, it's a site for a U.S. Open sectional. So I mean, we're playing great courses that are difficult as well, that you can become really good players at. But individuals to thank, I mean, Deepdale is where I work. Daryl Kestner's the director of golf. Jeff Geschwind is the head professional. Those guys have been, they've helped me a lot get better the last couple of years. I mean, Daryl, obviously with the short game, and he's obviously a guy that has had a lot of success playing in golf tournaments. He's taught me the main skill, how to win, really. I mean, he's done it more than almost anybody in the section probably. And it really just boils down to having that attitude and the confidence in yourself to just do what you believe you can do, and not worry about beating other people or worrying about what your members are going to think or what anybody else is going to think. You just have to try your hardest and know that the work you put into it is going to show itself. All the assistants at Deepdale as well. I mean, there's a lot of guys that come for me when I'm gone playing in tournaments. I thank them. Matt Dobbins, another guy that worked there when I was an intern at Deepdale. Playing with great players, I think, is is a really good opportunity, especially in this section, to get better. I mean, playing tournaments with guys like Grant Sturgeon and Frank Benzel, Matt Dobbins, Greg Visconti, I mean, the list goes on. It's, you learn something from them every time you play, and I still do, playing with these guys. Last year, actually, I want to point out Kirk Agori, because we kind of, I want to give hit for my irons. I think it was like a month before the National Club Pro, just because I wasn't really happy with how I was hitting it. And we bent my clubs like 4 degrees flat of where they were. And that kind of is what really turned last year around for me, because that was the part of the game that was not where I wanted it to be, and he helped me get it to where it should have been. And that just speaks to one of the many resources that you have available in this section. I mean, I don't really trust anybody but Kirk or Ono or the guys at Pete's to work on my club, just because I know that Dobbins does the same thing and a lot of the other great players do the same thing. You kind of just follow their lead. But I'm not sure what else to say other than maybe, I mean, David Orr at Campbell University, there's one thing that that's where I went to school. One thing that he always said is that you should never settle for average. And I mean, maybe just because he was screaming it in my face when he told me, but it stuck with me for a long time. And you're not going to get that far trying to just, I mean, settling for whatever is average. You need to work really hard at something, whether it's playing or getting involved, like everybody's saying, in teaching or learning about how to, you know, speak publicly, or just anything to become a better professional. It's how you separate yourself. If you can pick a couple things, even just one thing, to give yourself more value at a club. I mean, Daryl, if anybody in this room thinks about a putting lesson, he's the guy that people think about. And then you have Mike Diffley hypnotizing people, helping them with their mental game. Those are guys that have had great success in the section, and they pick 1 or 2 things that they're just going to be great at. And for me, I've always had a passion for playing, and I've done as much as I can to seek out the people that can help me realize that passion. And it's not over yet. I mean, I have a lot more goals than winning this, but this is a big step along the way, and look forward to another good season. Thank you very much.
Almost there. Just some new business, just touch up on a couple things. I know we've heard a little bit about this, a couple of these topics today, but thank you notes was touched on for the host clubs, but not only the host clubs. Yeah, we get to play some of the greatest places here in America, but also we play for some pretty darn good money, and that money comes from our sponsors. So please be sure, hopefully you had some time at the opening meeting last Thursday, if you were there, to thank those sponsors for their involvement and their donations. And going throughout the year, same thing. Next week, I believe, is the TaylorMade Adidas Pro Assistant, and continuing on, you know, Empire City, Lincoln, we've got a whole slew of them. So take some time to send some thank you notes to those sponsors as well. You know, so it's easy for Jeff to go into the office and upgrade those sponsorships each year. It was touched on earlier too, teaching tips with Paul Giordano. As it was brought up, I mean, a home run of a way to advertise yourself and build your brand and us as a section. So reach out to him and get a teaching tip on there. Squire Cup has been touched on, but again, for those new faces here, Squire Cup picks 12 assistants that are hand-selected by our board and the committee that he talked about. An awesome day to be a part of. I've been a part of a few of them, and there's just not a whole lot better than that day and being selected to the team. So the applications come out just short of our Assistants Championship, and the first day of the Assistants Championship is a deadline. So as Heath said, we had 26 or 27 last year. We'd love to double that number and make his job hard in selecting those guys and girls. Also, some things that happen at the year end for us assistants. We have a Met versus New Jersey match, which, sorry to say for the New Jersey guys, they get waxed every year, but it's a fun day because it's become a little bit of a who can find the best host site as we go back and forth. So we've done Quaker Ridge here. I can't even remember where we played last year, but it was a great spot. Arcola was a great spot, and they're Fenway. Heath opened up his doors to us a couple years ago, so it's kind of starting to rival, but not as good as the Squire Cup. But it's a fun day, and that's all. Those selections are board members are part of that team, and then the rest of the spots are made up of from the points list. So play well to be a part of the team. Again, another fun day. One other award that hasn't been talked about is the Gil McNally Award. That is most improved from year to year. You have to play in a particular number of events. Off the top of my head, I don't know what that number is, but each year you have to play in a particular number of events, and the guy that improves the most, there's a nice little cash award, and also to have your name listed along those of the likes of Gil McNally is pretty special. And as was brought up before as well, these 5 seats right here are all going to open at the end of the year. All 5 of us have served our 2-year terms in the spot. I will graciously say goodbye because I've worked my way up the ladder, but hopefully these 4 guys continue to move on. But again, I hope to see at the closing meeting, we spend a good amount of time on an election. So just keep that in mind. And also, as said, these guys are looking for guys and girls to volunteer for committee spots as well, helping, with the tournament schedule, scoring at the end of tournaments, public relations, junior golf stuff. So if you're looking to get involved, which always seems to be the key topic of our opening meeting, please reach out to one of these guys. I'm going to open it up to any open forum, thoughts, questions, concerns about the 2016 season and going forward. Everybody's hungry, so there's nothing. Once, twice, sold. I'm going to pass it over to Dan, who's going to talk about today's event and where we're heading from here. Guys, thank you very much. Have a great 2016 season, and hope to see you all out at plenty of tournaments.